today we're going to be officially doing some chat therapy. I gave you all a submission form where you all were able to submit any kind of questions, concerns, comments that you had. My not requirements. What's the word when someone is like proving that they're fit to talk about something? Qualifications, credentials. Yes. My qualifications are I've been in therapy a lot. Overall, I think that I have about 8 years of therapy under my belt. I am not a professional. I'm just a girl that likes to talk on the internet, but I believe in mental health a lot, and I want to talk to you guys about your mental health. Again, I thought this was going to be a funny, silly, haha segment. However, some of the things that I saw are quite serious. So let's get into it, shall we? So the first comment that we have is, honestly, I'm truly trying to navigate dating and what kind of man I want to be now that I'm so far in my transition. Oh, I feel like you don't have to put too much pressure on what kind of man you want to be, because I feel like you can just be a good person as a partner. At least that's my point of view. Whenever I'm thinking about how to be as a partner, I'm never thinking about how to be as a partner as a woman. I'm just thinking about how can I treat this person that I care about with love and respect. And I don't think that it's a gendered thing on how you treat someone. Do any guys in chat have any tips on navigating dating? Number game, keep shooting. Oh my God. It's very much up to each relationship that works, and part of establishing that is learning what works in the first place. Be a conversationalist, respect boundaries, be genuine. You don't have to think of it as a gendered thing. You can just think about it as, I'm interested in this person, I'm going to do this thing. I know I made a joke about women not having to do a lot, but whenever I have interest in someone, I do go out of my way to talk to them and make them feel seen and special, and I naturally want to learn about them. And I feel like those things, whenever you get feelings for someone, I feel like it comes very naturally. Someone said, I love you, girl, I just want to be your husband. So that's, I mean, okay, I guess. I'm 21 and make music and work. What are some tips for young people to try and make it and figure it out alone? I'm afraid to fail at a young age. Well, I think the first thing is you shouldn't be afraid to fail young. Failing young is like the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself. Failure, rejection, embarrassment. I think those are all very good things to go through because they're not innately negative. I think that we just put a lot of pressure on being successful so early in our lives that it's hard to accept that a lot of your early 20s is just you failing. Time is going to pass regardless of whether or not you try and fail. So you might as well just do the things that you want to do. I got shit I want to do. And if I don't try at all, then I've just already failed. Okay, someone said my girl don't love me. It's not funny. I was in a relationship that led to marriage, and it lasted over 10 years. Wow. I'm now divorced and in my 30s. And honestly, I don't know how to approach women. I think I may be demisexual. Even if I find a woman physically attractive, sex without a strong emotional connection leaves me feeling empty. Any advice on how to approach women? I am super out of practice. Layers to this. Let's start on advice on how to approach women, because that ties into like all of this. Approaching women realistically is not actually that hard. The really big thing is the time and place. And with that, so this also ties into something that we've talked about here, which is it like third spaces, I believe is what it's called. There aren't a lot of spaces to just meet people outside of like bars anymore. That's been a really big thing that I've noticed. Is it is so easy to just like go to a bar and meet someone, right? And then if you want to meet someone in person, then like that also eliminates dating profiles and things like that. Like if you're like, I want to do it organically. And then also it's like you can't really approach a woman who's like in certain situations, like if she's like in a group of her friends and they're all talking, it's a little inappropriate to interrupt them and be like, hey, fine shit. And then it's also weird to like approach a woman on the street, right? Like it's hard to just approach people in general. But I do feel like finding something that you enjoy genuinely and finding people in that space helps a lot. I've been doing much better these days, partially due to this community, as well as the weightlifting and going for music walks. Just listening to music, no calls or texts or scrolling. I walked away from my career due to burnout. Wow. Okay. I was at a very low point and tried to start a business, burn myself out even more. Trying to restart again. It's been a struggle trying to get started in a whole new role in this job market. Any words of wisdom, Kai and chat? Good for you for going on music walks. I think that's very healthy. I'm a big advocate for walking, and like listening to music and not scrolling. Something I really like doing, walks with affirmations playing at the same time, because fun fact, your brain processes differently whenever you're walking. I'm so glad that the community is helping. I'm glad that you're taking care of yourself. I think a really big thing of restarting is, first off, it's good that you're restarting and you didn't just say like, I quit, hands clean of the business I was going to start. Making a solid plan of expectations and also comparing it against what went wrong the first time that led to your burnout. Find ways to fit everything in. Write down everything that you want to do and then put them in lists of priorities. That's really helpful for me. And I like to do it week by week. Writing things out is incredibly helpful for burnout, because while it can be overwhelming to see everything at once, whenever you start placing it in specific time frames, and then also job market, the job market fucking sucks. The job market sucks. And I think that's something that we all recognize. Remember that your self-worth does not tie to how quickly you can get a job. The job market is just ass. Someone asked a question, what part of you had to grow up too fast? I'm gonna be honest, I was very privileged. I don't think I had to grow up too fast. I think, if anything, I didn't grow up fast enough. I was very sheltered as a kid, and it took me, I think, until college to really have life slap me in the face and recognize like shit ain't sweet. Like, I feel like that's like the best way I can describe it. Like, college is when I actually became a person. I spent so much time trying to satisfy my parents and also act in a way that I thought my peers wanted me to act, that I was never actually genuine, and that I was never able to maintain those friendships because you can't pretend to be someone for years and years and years. And I think college, whenever I had no influence from my family, and I went to a college where I wasn't in the same program as any of the friends that went to the same college as me, that like, I think I learned a lot about myself. So I wouldn't say I grew up too quickly. I'd say I was a late bloomer, but I feel like I struggle with this need/desire to amount to something in my life, to do something big enough to be deemed worthy by society. I chase viewership, a degree, followers, all these things to feel like I amounted to something. It's never enough because the problem was internal. I realize I won't start experiencing expansion in my life until I accept myself when I have, quote unquote, nothing. I started doing that and so much has opened up for me. So this is not only to tell myself, but also to someone else. If you're struggling right now with feeling stuck, burnt out, sadness, and feeling like you aren't enough because of your circumstances, maybe your circumstances are just highlighting how you already feel about yourself and what you need to do to heal, so you can be in the space not only to receive your desires, but keep them. Hey, no therapy needed. That sounds good. That sounds good to me. I like that. Rooting yourself in like external validation or external like success is always very unhealthy, because all of those things can leave you, but your love for yourself, your care for yourself, that can, you get to keep that regardless. And I think that's very healthy and very good and makes me very happy. Do you think people meet at the right time, or do we just settle into timing? I think there is no right time for, in my personal opinion, I think that there is no right time for literally anything. I think that we put a lot of pressure on everything being right and perfect. And trust me, I get it, because I'm literally a type A person. My entire life runs on calendars and timelines. But realistically, like, I don't know. I think everyone has their own pace. And you just go straight into it. You just do your shit. I think everybody has one that gets away romantically. I don't think that was like a right, wrong time thing. I think that's just life. I think life, you got generational fumbles is what I'm trying to say. My mother gaslights me even though I'm taking time out of my day to help her. That's fucking annoying. If you're in a position to not help her, maybe I'm toxic, but whenever my family pisses me off, I deadass just don't talk to them. Is that crazy? I really need to get this off my chest because I'm tired of always being the strong one. I brought a lot of light to people, and there's never a moment where I don't genuinely love to do that. But I really don't let people see when things just suck for me. I don't hold back because I think I'm weak at all. I've learned that my emotions are powerful, especially if I use them correctly and in a healthy way. It's more I feel that people actually see what is underneath, then it might take away the hope that I'm trying to give them. In the current moments, there's not a good space for me to truly fall apart, even if it's just a little bit. I don't fully trust people around me to do that, and the closest version I have to do that with left me, and they told me they didn't really like me from the beginning. Ugh. Yeah, I stayed strong because that's who I am, and that's who I'm supposed to be, but I've been very strong for a very long time. I still don't mind handling my stuff by myself. Loneliness or solitude never really scared me, but every now and then I do wish that I could just take a little bit of this weight off, even if just a moment. Until then, I have light to give and laughter to share. Oh. Something that I have found goes a very long way is being honest about having those days and those moments where you are feeling like shit. I have found that is one of the most helpful things that you can do for people, is admit that it's not always going to be okay. I think that's something that we do far too often in trying to support other people is lie to them. I think that lying to people emotionally is one of the worst things that you can do, because it builds expectations and things can go really right, really right, really right. And then the second it goes wrong, it's like, well, I guess I'm just broken. Everything's not right. And it's like, realistically, you know that nothing is ever always going to be right. But I think that being able to admit, like, hey, like, can you hold space for me as well? I'm actually having a really hard time with this right now. I think that goes a much further longer way, because it shows that you can deal with your own personal problems and still carry yourself in like a very light way. That's kind of how I approach my mental health as well, is I am very open with you all about having depression and anxiety, and I've like mild mania, I got PTSD, I got a roster of mental health issues. But I also try to show up as a positive person as often as I can, and I try to hold space for you guys as often as I can. And I feel like as much as we troll each other about Sag farming and shit, whenever I'm having a bad day, you guys are very much there for me. And I think that give and take is very important in those interpersonal relationships. It takes a very big weight off of you whenever you no longer feel like you have to hide your emotions from other people for the sake of making them more comfortable. I'm always the outcast in situations whenever it comes to everyone. My cousins never hit me up or anything, but always talk to my sister. Whenever I do text them, they ignore me for months. Listen, as someone who airs people out, or not even airs them on purpose, I just legit don't talk to people sometimes. I get very overwhelmed. I feel like this is where chosen family comes into place. Again, I believe that everybody has their people. I think that you just need to go into spaces where you are interested in the same things as other people and find your people within that space. I feel like a lot of the time too, whenever you have this complex, I don't want to call it an inferiority complex, because you didn't state that, and I don't want to like psychoanalyze you in that way. But I will say that if you have this mindset of I'm always the outcast in all of these situations, I feel like it makes it really easy for you to assume before you even give people a chance that you're already going to be the outcast. And I feel like you need to approach it in a different way, where it's like, do I want these people to be my friend, instead of trying to be friends with everyone? I don't believe in being friends with everybody. I've given my all to everyone I've ever loved, and not a single person does the same for me. I'm getting triggered. Everyone belittles me, steps on me, tries to manipulate me, and assume that I don't know that they are, gaslight me, use me, and then abandons me. I don't know how I'm still going, but I forced myself to. I have no idea why. It's not for me, so I don't know how or why I'm still standing. If you feel like every person that you've invested in does not equally care about you, I feel like it's time to look inwards on why you allow these people to get to that place in your life where you're doing so much for them, or to a place where you have these feelings of love for someone and they don't feel the same for you. It feels like you are invested in someone more than they are you over a period of time, and then you get surprised when they don't reciprocate certain feelings. My partner loves having sex with me, but I hate it. He's confronted me about it, but I step around the issue every time. I'd rather wait until he's asleep and do it myself than do it with him. I still love him and think he's attractive, but I just don't care for the act of sex. I think I'm asexual, but don't really want to tell my partner of 5 years because I'm emotionally attached to them. You're being selfish. You're being incredibly selfish, because if your partner has not only made advances towards you, but also has talked to you about it, and you're actively avoiding speaking about it, you are 100% the problem. The only way that you and your partner can get through this is by communicating with them, because either you talk to them about it and you find common ground and you work it out, or you're putting someone in a position where they don't even know, like, they don't even know what they're agreeing to by being in a relationship with you, and that is so unfair. You are taking away an aspect of a relationship because of your own selfishness. Not to say that you're not valid, not to say that asexuality is not valid and that you don't have every right to do that, but that also means your partner has the right to know that you're asexual, and they're allowed to make a decision based off of that. I was almost engaged once to who I thought was the love of my life. She was my everything. She took all my money, dumped me over text, and ghosted after we had been together for years and lived together. She hasn't said a word to me since, and that was almost half a decade ago. Wow. What's the longest it took you to get over someone you really loved? How do I say this in a way that doesn't sound bad? I think that being able to leave relationships without any kind of regret is the reason why it's easy for me to move on, because I know I did what I could. I think I lost touch with my craft. I used to be so good at what I did, and now I hate doing it. And when I do show up for it, I feel like a shell of myself. I don't know what I need to do to get it back to me. Don't do it. If you feel like your craft is no longer serving its purpose, which is enjoying yourself, I feel like it's worth just like not doing it for a while. I literally stopped writing music and like writing poetry for like 4 to 5 years. And I just started doing it again. But I couldn't get myself to do it before. I wanted to sing. Like, I stopped singing too, actually. I wanted to sing. I wanted to write. I wanted to like express myself in the ways that I was used to, but I just couldn't. I don't know why. It was literally years of me not being able to write music to then one night writing 6 songs in one sitting. Like, it was insane. I just like shit out a bunch of creativity. But I feel like if your craft isn't serving you, just like do something else. I feel like it naturally comes back to you. I don't have anything, but no matter where you are in life right now, don't forget that you've already made it through things you once thought you couldn't handle. Every challenge, every setback, and every tough day has helped shape you into someone stronger than you were before. Progress doesn't always look perfect. Sometimes it's slow, messy, and hard to notice, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. Keep pushing forward, even on the days when motivation feels low, because consistency builds the future you're working towards. Believe in your ability to grow, to change, and to rise above whatever stands in your way. You don't have to have everything figured out today. Just focus on taking the next step. Surround yourself with positivity, protect your energy, and remind yourself that your story isn't finished yet. There are still moments of joy, success, and peace waiting for you. Stay patient, stay determined, and trust that everything you're working for will come together in time. Jose. Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. I definitely see us doing this again. Maybe not every month. Well, maybe we could. I guess we could do it every month. We could do a little month recap together. I feel like this was a really fun segment. I love being able to just like yap with you guys. Good night, guys. I love you. Good night. Mwah, mwah, mwah.